Hello. Stephen, how are you?
All good.
Yeah.
All good in the hood.
Yeah. How are you feeling this week? So you see, I'm getting used to how are you feeling. I even say this at people I'm working with. I'm like, how are you feeling? So I'm getting the hang of it.
I have to stop saying that. Feeling good today, actually. Had a pretty good workout this morning and got some sunshine. So yeah, all good this morning. But it's been a hectic week.
What did you work on this morning?
Just did a little bit of back exercises. So middle back. Used bands for that, and I did triceps, biceps, and yeah. Oh, also my girlfriend was doing hip thrusts. She was using me for hip thrusts, and I was using her for hip thrusts.
So can you explain that?
Not in the dirty format, people. in a way.
So she was laying on top of you,
up against the couch, but like her legs were on the floor.
Yeah.
And I was on top of her, and she was trusting me up, and then I was trusting her up with the body weight.
I mean, you're not a small guy, so I'd imagine
that
must
a good
have been
90
tough for her.
kg. Yeah.
But she managed.
Oh no, she's used to that.
Yeah, wow.
Yeah, she does that in the gym.
Wow, okay.
Sounds a bit weird when I'm speaking about this, but it's innovative. It's creative.
So obviously it's what are we? Week 4 of lockdown here in Malta.
For me, it's probably going to start going on to week 5.
Week 5. And I was just thinking about this week. So what are you missing so far of the old norm, let's say?
Biggest thing for me is the gym. I love going to the gym. Haven't gotten a chance to go to a quiet gym in a long time.
Mm-hmm.
Gyms are pretty hectic here.
Gym's
But I
pretty quiet
love
now.
going to the gym. That's one of my favorite pastimes. Pubs, restaurants, but I can get over that pretty fast. Okay. Gives us a good opportunity to try out cooking new foods. Had brisket yesterday. It was pretty cool.
Homemade brisket?
Yeah.
Wow.
You can order it on Bold Foods. There's your promo. A butcher delivers on Bold Foods now.
Wow. Okay, so you can get brisket and then cook it at home yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, okay. Bulk food for the non-Maltese is a bit like Uber Eats.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Okay. I was thinking about the things I'm missing, it's like it's a bit of a guilty pleasure. I'm really missing. This is a bit sad, really. I was having a beer yesterday. I was thinking, Friday nights we normally have a couple of beers and go and sing bad karaoke at Cork's Bar. And I just used to really enjoy it. I'm not a particularly good singer, but just the rush of dopamine you get afterwards. Dopamine?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Same atmosphere, yeah. I was thinking about just going in twos and walking around the island, just knocking back a few beers. I think that's going to be my new thing.
Yeah, it's good to do. Well, you've got the carry, the holder for Corona. It's actually Corona, the drink. They come in a pack of 6 and you can walk around with them. So it's a lot easier. So it's
Malta's a little bit blessed in that way, but it sucks for other people in other countries.
And one thing which I'm happy to say, so we're trying to reduce our So as I've just done again, we have since set up our own Instagram page. Finally, it's probably something we should have done before. So and the reason for us doing that is not to become Insta famous or anything. It's more about it's finding a good way for us to get as much feedback as possible. Because essentially whilst we're learning as we're going, we want to make sure we're discussing interesting things, or if there's new areas of wellness or fitness or alternative living that we don't know about, then we're not going to know. So if you can send that to us or give us feedback on things that are good, things that are bad, things we can improve, hopefully it's all going to make for a better listening. So the Instagram page we've set up is dosed_podcast. Dosed_podcast. Underscore is a little dash that's at the bottom for people who don't know. So you should be able to find it with our lovely faces on it. And we will be putting up more pictures on there. I think Stephen's going to put his lovely face on it as well.
Sure. If I must.
And you'll also be able to see our lovely guest as well. She's going to be on there today. So we'll introduce you shortly. Yeah, please come and just share as much information. Send us messages to let us know. That'd be great. Another big thing for me, I guess, this week is I found it. One of the things I'm also missing is going to the gym, because I find it very difficult, because I live in an apartment, splitting the working and living environment, because I don't have an office set up yet, which is something I still need to do. And I find it's just some blur, and I just don't have any motivation, or I've been struggling to find the motivation to work out at home. This week I started a little hack just to try and usher myself along, just to do something, and that was just a 10-minute exercise, but try and do 3 to 4 a day, because anyone can find 10 minutes. And then it's just like, okay, so if you give yourself 4 sets of exercises, so for example, yesterday I only managed to do 2, but there's still 20 minutes of exercise that I would normally think, okay, I need to now go and put my gym kit on, or I need to go and do whatever. So all these barriers you're putting up to stop you actually going and getting moving, because you think, it's half an hour, I don't have half an hour amount of time. So one trick is, like, I just now sit in my gym kit all day, and even though I'm doing video calls, I'm wearing a nice black top or something, but that's a quick one. Then I could just quickly do 10 minutes here and there, do press-ups, burpees, whatever. So it's kind of a good little hack I'm doing at the moment. Anything else?
Let's get this thing started.
I think we should.
Just get this party
stop
started.
Talking. We need to get Aleksandra on. Okay. So office space is awesome. Personally, I've worked in a multitude of co-working spaces, and these guys have totally hit the mark. Not only with their community team, but the whole joined up togetherness, if that's even a phrase, of their offering, despite the fact they have multiple office locations, really brings and accentuates a genuine community vibe I've not experienced anywhere else before. Also, if you're just an individual trying to build an empire, or a bigger scale-up company looking for a solid yet connected workspace for your staff and even for yourself, these guys are it. Not forgetting the fact that every Wednesday they really like to cook up an awesome lunch and share that with everyone, which is such a nice little touch. And they have got a brand new location on the Strand, which for those that are not in Malta, it's in Slima, which has got an incredible and ginormous roof terrace. So I know exactly where I'm going to be this summer, burning my bald head and working. So if you guys are interested, please go to www.sohomalta.com/dosed for discounts and any inquiries. So we've got an amazing guest today, someone that I've been fortunate enough to know only for a short time, but has been already quite instrumental in terms of my personal development when it comes to meditation, and I've even been lucky enough to do an online yoga session with her. So this I'd like to welcome on Aleksandra Olshinska. I was going to get it wrong.
Olshinska?
Olshinska. I think I was going to get it wrong. I always get the surnames wrong.
It's difficult.
It's not. I'm just an
It's
idiot.
Polish one.
And today Aleksandra is going to talk about her personal journey from being a lawyer and having an unhealthy lifestyle despite looking incredible, but the changes she's had to make to ultimately improve her life and make you not only more spiritual but more effective and impactful for other people. I think that makes sense. Welcome to the show.
Thank you for inviting me and having the show today.
Of course, that's great. So before we kind of jump into obviously your journey into how where you are now and obviously your growth ultimately. It'd be good to get to know you, I guess, understand your background. And so you are from Poland?
Yes, I'm from Poland. However, I live in Malta
And
for ages, like 8 years.
8 years?
Wow.
8 years.
Wow, okay.
I came here just for summertime and I got stuck because of the weather and friendly people and also because of my career who was developing quite well over
Mhm.
here.
Yeah.
And here I am,
Okay.
8 years after I came for the first time.
Okay. Wow. 8 years.
That's
Malta must have changed a bit in 8 years.
A lot,
Yeah.
a lot.
For the better, worse?
Well, I would say it's different than it used to be. There is much more developments, especially in relation to moving properties.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
So it's quite heartbreaking to see certain places that are developing in certain way, because I think that nature is very important for every human being, but also for animals, and that makes also Malta unique. The very old buildings. So I think they should keep that this way to keep the island unique and beautiful, because that's what makes it special.
Yeah, I agree. Wow.
I hope the ecosystem will kind of remain now. This summer is probably going to be the quietest summer Malta's seen in maybe 30 years, who knows?
Yes, actually, I was really lucky because a friend of mine is a pilot, so we went around Malta
I saw
with
your
small
Instagram.
aircraft,
Yeah.
and I'm telling you, it was incredible. I mean, I'm here 8 years, but I've never seen Malta so clean and so beautiful. The water was so clear that we could see the wreck of the ship from there.
Really?
Whoa.
Yes, really.
Wow.
And it was incredible. You cannot see that. And
Yeah.
last year, for instance, it wasn't possible. So I think there is less people. Most of people are staying at home. There is no tourists, so of course there is not that much rubbish in the sea as well. So the nature it's healing, and it's incredible to see that.
I even noticed actually yesterday. I went for a walk just at lunchtime, and in Slima ferries, where it's normally packed full at this time of year, it'd be packed full of the cruise ships or the excursions and everything else, and there's just bits of rubbish, and it's not that bad, but it's not that great, because then you can see the layer of oil on top of the water as well. Now it's
so clear.
it's unbelievable.
It's a great time to go swimming.
Yeah, you would think you're on the other side of the island where there are no tourists or anything.
Yeah,
So it's,
sometimes I feel that humans are the worst disease of the nature, unfortunately. So we should learn how to live with nature and take the most out of it, but not in so aggressive way. To live with the nature and appreciate that more. So like that, the nature will give a lot back to us as well.
I agree. Wow. So let's kind of move on to you really. So obviously I've as I mentioned earlier, I've been lucky enough to kind of know you for a little while, and I know the journey you've been on. But it would be good to maybe start at the very beginning. So you came here as a lawyer, very successful. So let's talk. Let's start there. And you had to the regular person, incredible career, great opportunities, and you're doing really well.
Well, yes, I started from the very beginning, from the very bottom, and I was working really hard to actually get promoted. I was lucky enough to work for the law firm that they were believing in me as well, investing in me time and money to actually develop my skills as a lawyer. And back then, actually, I wasn't leading a very healthy lifestyle. Some people, they cannot believe that when they see my stories on Instagram now, because I could wake up, and if I feel like having pizza or McDonald's for breakfast, I would just simply go for it. And then for lunch, I could have, let's say, 2 pieces of cake, and for dinner I could have lasagna, because this is how I felt.
Yeah.
And
it had
thank
no
God
impact.
I have really good metabolism. My genetic is amazing, so maybe actually that was a problem, that I didn't put on weight.
Yeah.
So if your body is digesting everything, you just keep on going this way, because I can eat rubbish and nothing is happening to me.
Yeah.
And the situation changed a few years ago, I would say 3 years ago. It was winter time, and I really got afraid of myself, because all of a sudden I started feeling constantly tired, but so tired that I wasn't able to cope. So I would wake up in the morning already tired, finding my first coffee immediately, because I was still half asleep before my coffee. So I would have 1 coffee, another coffee, the 3rd coffee, and I would still be sleepy. I would be eating my lasagnas a lot of calories. So technically speaking, I should have a lot of energy because it was a lot of calories, right? No, it didn't happen. So I coming back home tired again. So I was looking to eat another junk food and just go to sleep. And after 2 weeks or 3 weeks like that, I spoke with my best friend, Mayu, and actually she was the one inspiring me to change my lifestyle. So that's why also I decided to share my story with other people, because I really hope that I can inspire other people to give it a try and start living healthy lifestyle as well. So I shared my experience with my best friend, with Mayu, telling her that most probably I have some disease that I should just go to the hospital or to the doctor or get properly examined, because I'm sure there's something wrong with my body, because I've never felt this way, that I'm so tired. So for sure my body is struggling with something. And I still remember like it would be yesterday. She looked at me and said, "Okay, Aleksandra, so what did you eat today?" I was like, well, I had lasagna for breakfast, McDonald's for lunch, and I will still have to have my dinner.
It's such a common thing as well.
Most probably I will have some chocolate and maybe some piece of cake, because I feel like having something sweet. And she was okay. And yesterday? Well, yesterday more or less the same. And she was like, okay, so where your body should take nutrition from? How you can have energy if your body is just focusing on burning these calories? And I was like, yeah, but exactly, there is a lot of calories, so I should have a lot of energy. And she was like, well, that's not the case. And she challenged me, because sometimes I can be very competitive as well. So she challenged me. It's like, well, give yourself a challenge, a month of healthy eating. Buy some spirulina and start cooking a bit, or just cut off your junk food, your cakes, your chocolate, because I'm chocoholic by the way, and see what's going to happen. If you will be still tired and feeling that there is something wrong, then yes, maybe you should go to the doctor. But maybe you will feel better. So I really decided, okay, let's just try it. It's like a challenge. I can do it. And it was incredible. It was incredible because all of a sudden I started feeling so energized. I had energy in the morning. It was way easier to wake up, even though it was middle of winter time. And I felt like going out for the walk and being active in general.
So what? Obviously, changing your diet is a huge thing, and it'd be good to understand how. Obviously, you were talking about lasagna, cakes, McDonald's before. What were sometimes for a lot of people it's quite difficult just to go and just change everything. So what did you start with, or were you drastic and you just went, okay, I'm going to change everything, no more McDonald's, no more pizza, or did you stop eating bread? Did you stop, what did you stop eating, and then what did you replace it with?
Well, I was trying to eat more salads, more veggies in general. Of course, during winter time, you don't feel like eating salads much, right? It just doesn't taste good. But first step was start preparing my food at home, because when you buy food outside, then you don't really know what's there. So it can be very simple food, but still cooked at home by yourself. It can be something simple. You don't have to spend a lot of time preparing it. But that's, I would say, the very first step. And then, of course, again, I'm not, I am a health freak, but also I like enjoying my piece of croissant or pizza from time to time.
You need to give yourself the rewards.
Exactly. So I wouldn't say struggle and force yourself to eat healthy. No, you should switch to healthy lifestyle. So at the beginning it can be difficult, of course, but once you get used to new tastes, then you will never get back to old habits. For instance, I don't eat that much fried food anymore, because it's just simply not tasty. I prefer, oven baked or cooked, because there's so much more flavor in it. So I would say that the first month it's very difficult, and you need to try a bit, harder to get used to it. But then it's way easier. And then also rewards. So if you feel like having a croissant or slice of pizza from time to time, not every day, then yes, go for it and enjoy it. But it should be one meal a day. And very often people just take totally different approach. So, oh, I already made a bad choice. I already had my croissant. I'm going to go for everything what I feel like. So they have the same day pizza, croissant. First of all, it's a shock for your body because all of a sudden you are getting food that you are not used to it anymore or you don't want to. Especially at the beginning, if you are changing your dietary habits. And then even from the psychological point of view, it's like, oh, I already didn't manage, so tomorrow I will have another lasagna. So one meal at a time, maybe first you can start, one cheat meal for a week or every 3 days, and I'll just start like that.
So starting in increments is a good idea. For me, it was learning how to cook. That was my kind of thing. I'd just be like, I'll just stick it in the microwave.
Oh, that's actually the worst what you can do. The processed food, it's just so bad.
Yeah. So learning how to cook was huge for me.
Yeah.
We should just, eat food as simple as possible because then it's even easier for our body to digest it. If it's highly processed, then of course your body needs more time to digest it as well.
So I have a question about this as well, because you have at the moment the Beyond Burger. I don't know if you've heard of Beyond Burger, which is basically it looks like a burger, but it's there's no meat in it whatsoever, and it's all vegetables. So it's for is it for vegans?
Yes.
Yes, it's for vegans. Now I can see why it's great. Because it's got no meat and everything, but it's so highly processed.
Exactly.
I question, and I need to go and probably do some science on this, do some research. Beyond Burger, I'll write it down. And I'm not expecting you to tell the answers. Anyone in the room to tell the answers, but do you think that level of processed vegetable is going to have a positive impact on your body compared to like having something simple that you just prepared?
No, I don't think so. I think it's better to eat something simple but less processed. It will take less time for your body to digest it, and most probably it has much more nutrition as well, so you can get more vitamins out of it.
Yeah.
And actually it's not that difficult to make your own burger, like vegan burger.
Yeah.
Especially if you are passionate about cooking, or if you can cook with someone, invite over friends, maybe not now because of this whole situation, but it's also easier and it can be really fun evening when you actually learn and try to cook something together.
It is.
I love cooking actually, and now I'm getting in the habit of using my barbecue again. So and I'm not a vegan, but getting an incredible steak or some fish and cooking that on the barbecue, oh my god, it's just incredible. And just the whole the build up to it as well. I think with the barbecue, as opposed to like just cooking in the oven or just in a pan, it's like it's done. Where with a barbecue, you have to kind of ensure that you build the barbecue in the right way. Because I always use coals, I don't like using gas. And then you have to make sure you're putting the items on the barbecue at the right time. Wait for obviously the coals to heat up effectively. So all these things. So I just did it this week, so I'm quite. I'm still loving it.
Now I'm getting hungry. Sounds good. Yes, barbecue is definitely a very good option. I rather avoid fried food as well because there is a lot of fat. So always when I prepare my meal, I try to make sure that there is enough of proteins, some fish or eggs, or I don't eat that much meat, but
one ingredient foods I think is the way to go.
Yes, but then you need also veggies, and especially when you train, you need some carbs as well, but not too much, of course. And then there are different types of carbs. So sweet potatoes or some grains are good for your body, but if you eat a lot of bread, then
that's not much yet. Yeah, but that's where I know potato skins are actually really good. So when you have a jacket potato, the skins themselves, hard carbohydrates, are meant to be really good for you. Obviously high in fiber.
Yes, and in fact, when I cook my potatoes, I cook them in the skin and then I peel it off.
Really?
Yes, really.
Oh wow.
Yes. So like that, you will keep more nutrition in the veggies.
The
same, it's better to steam your veggies rather than boil them in the water.
Yeah, of course. Although
so like that, you keep nutrition.
We've all grown up on well, I did anyway. My mum used to boil the life out of vegetables. So when we have like a roast on a Sunday, you have cauliflower, potatoes, everything. Well, not potatoes, but cauliflower, peas. leeks, everything is just boiled, and then you don't get any of the goodness.
Exactly.
So at least
then,
we've improved.
And then the secret is also in spices and herbs, because something very simple can be so tasty because of the spices that you add. You just need to find your own spices that you really like. For me, mostly it's chili, because I love spicy food. It's with salt, pepper, and then it depends how I feel like.
Chili as well.
I love fresh parsley to chop as well and to cook with fresh parsley, because there is a lot of vitamin C as well. So those small things make big difference as well. So your food can be nutritious and very tasty as well because of herbs and spices that you add to it.
So you are lucky enough to have your friend May as your, for want of a better phrase, the kick up your ass, just to be like, okay, this is.
But in a polite way. Very kind way. But she definitely inspired me. So now I'm sharing my story.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping that someone can be inspired as well and try to change healthy habits.
Yeah.
Because I'm telling you, if I manage to do that as a sugar addicted and chocoholic, junk food lover, and I manage to get out of it and start my healthy lifestyle, then I'm telling you, everyone can do that.
Yeah. And what kind of three? Is there a particular tip? You know, if there's just one thing that someone can take away, maybe they're in this cycle where they go home, maybe they're working too much, or they're just not eating well, so they are sleeping too much. Is there one thing? If there's one thing you can tell them, other than the obvious change your diet, is there one thing that you can say, okay, just change this to start with and just see the impact? What would it be?
Well, definitely food is the very first step, I would say, but it can be a bit difficult. I mean, it's important to have some food, because the worst what can happen when you are super hungry, then you will go for whatever you find, not necessarily healthy.
Yeah.
But if you have some healthy food with you, then of course it's already there. So that would be the very first thing. The second thing is, especially if someone is sugar addicted person, then try to switch to healthy sweets. And trust me, at the beginning it will be difficult, but then once you get used to it,
Healthy sweets? What do you mean by that?
Healthy sweets, so replacing sugar with maple syrup or honey, more natural and less processed sugars, or just banana, for instance. It has a lot of sugar, but it's way easier to digest for our body than highly processed sugar, white sugar especially. And then you enjoy healthy sweets much more than normal ones. So if you have normal chocolate, you just taste sugar and nothing else. So that would be the very first thing, in my opinion, diet. But if you are struggling with that, then try to be active.
Okay.
Somehow it goes together. So once you are active, you exercise, you do something, you feel like eating healthy food more. And then again, when you exercise, you also boost your energy level. So some people say like, no, I'm too tired to exercise, I'm too tired to go to the gym or go for a walk. No, when you are so tired, that's exactly when you have to move, because at the beginning it will be difficult, but then it will make you so energized, you will just get addicted to being active. You just need to find your way of activity, because everyone is different. So for you, going to the gym can be good and you enjoy doing that. For someone else it can be jogging, for someone else it can be vinyasa yoga, for someone else it can be, I don't know, playing baseball, let's say, or basketball. Just find your way of being active, the way that you enjoy doing that, because I think that's the most important in this process.
I think also comes back to your point you were mentioning earlier, that once you not even got into the habit, once you began eating more healthy, then you didn't really want to go back to eating McDonald's and everything else, because then what happens is your palate changes. So your basically the bacteria in your digestive tract changes, because you begin starving it from the bad sugars that you were kind of feeding it before. And a way to do that is something I did personally, was a gut cleanse, where I had 5 days, because it was maybe 2.5 years ago where I had the same kind of the realization. I was like, even though I was going to the gym and I was, on the outside, I was looking okay. I was just kind of realizing I'm not really, I can be a lot better, and I want to now kind of try and experiment with myself. I've read lots of different, sometimes conflicting articles. So I thought, okay, the best way to test something is do it on myself. So then I started this 5-day gut cleanse, which is 5 days of no food, and it's just vegetable juice, and which is vegetable juice, not juice because of the sugars, so no sugar, and bone broth only. And day one, got through day one because you're motivated. You're like, yeah, I'm doing this thing. You get to talk about it. Day two was probably the worst day of the year for me.
But somehow you survived.
Yeah, of course. Okay, again, it's because your body is craving all of these things that you previously feed it, through sugars or bad carbohydrates and everything else. So your body is then just screaming. And by day 3, when I woke up, I was like, wow, I feel amazing. Like I felt the sharpest I'd felt probably for a couple of years, just by not even eating anything. And then by day 4, I was feeling so good. I was thinking, wow, I'm tempted to go to the gym. I feel so energized, and I just don't understand why. I'm not eating anything. I'm just having this vegetable juice, as much as you want, and bone broth. But I feel, and then by day 5, this interesting thing happens, and I won't go into too much detail. But obviously your gut and your digestive tract then is trying to squeeze as much as it can from what's inside of you. So by trying to scrape almost like the nutrients from the walls just to try and feed itself. And by doing that, then the lining of that system is all flushed from you at that point, and allows you to then really effectively absorb any of the new nutrients that you put in your body. But by the end of that, so the beginning of this whole process, I was like, oh God, vegetable juice tastes like arse. It's disgusting. But by day kind of 4 or 5, by day 4, I was like, I'm really enjoying it. This is really tasty, because everything had changed in my palate. And so then after this whole process, then I was like, okay, I want to have spinach all the time. I really want to make sure I'm having a lot of raw vegetables in my diet on a daily basis. So I think that worked for me. I think everything works for different people. But I
really admire you, because I wasn't able to do the cleansing with juice. I was just so hungry because I have quite high calorie intake.
Yeah.
Because I have fast metabolism. I think it would be dangerous for other people.
That's what. Yeah, I mean,
because I was just getting crazy without food.
Yeah.
I couldn't think about anything else. But that worked for you, and it's also important to find your way of switching. But once you cross the line, you start eating healthy lifestyle, then there is no way back to old habits, because you see the difference in your body, way of thinking, your energy level. I think you experience that as well.
Well, and it's also, there are times, I don't know if you've experienced this, when, you maybe have you get a bit drunk maybe the night before, and then the hangover day, and that's typically when you'll have a bit of a relapse, and you go, oh, okay, I'm just going to get pizza, or I'm going to get some bad food. But then by the day, and we're all human, because it does happen. But then the day after I've had that day, I feel bad. I'm like, oh God, I've just had terrible pizza. So then it's like, okay, now I need to go and
eat healthy again.
Yeah, you need to kind of kick it back in again. So
yeah.
It's something that I think we all go through, really.
Yes, but also I think it's very interesting what you mentioned before about changing bacteria in your stomach, that it's helping digest the food. So, for instance, since I started eating healthy already some time ago, and when I decide to eat some unhealthy pizza, I mean, first of all, I cannot eat too much lactose. My stomach is just not tolerating it very well.
Yeah.
So now if I have something with lactose or deep fried food, I have a stomach ache, and I feel so heavy as well. So that's another reason why I don't want to go back. I don't want to feel that way.
That's really interesting. Something happened to me. This was it was the first week of lockdown, actually. It was the first weekend of lockdown, I remember, because that's when I started using House Party, which is this new app that you can jump on with your friends. Stayed up until maybe a stupid o'clock in the morning, like 6 o'clock in the morning, talking to all my friends, and because we've got friends in Australia as well, so then they wake up, anyway, it was too much alcohol consumption and just being up too late. So the next day I had the typical slump where like, okay, I just want to have bad food. I just want to have like the aloe vera juice. Do you know the aloe vera juices, which are like a bit like grape juice really, but it's a lot of sugars in it. And then I had like cola bottle, like all these bad things, and I don't typically have much sugar anymore anyway. So I just had like 2 of those drinks. I had a bag of cola bottle sweets. After about 30 minutes, I felt physically, I was like laying on my sofa going, oh, and I never throw up. I went and threw up. I threw up all this stuff that was in me, even the juice.
Just couldn't take
it was like, what the hell? You're giving me some ridiculous spike of sugar that you don't need. What are you doing? And then it just expelled it immediately. And it was such a weird shock, but it's obviously, my body is now really balanced in itself, that it doesn't allow, because of maybe a couple of years of feeding it effectively, that doesn't allow for anything that's too bad to come into it.
Yeah, well, that's one thing, but another thing, don't forget about alcohol and its effect on the body as well.
Oh, yeah.
Because it's a poison for your body, basically.
Yeah.
So your entire body needs to shut down and focus on, digesting the poisoning alcohol. So when you have something unhealthy, it's way too much for the body to deal with. So most probably this is what happened and why you threw up as well.
Yeah, anyway, enough about me throwing up. So this is obviously, did it lead to like a whole lifestyle change then? Was this the first part, or were you on this journey to where you are already? So
No, that was just the very first step, I would say, from the physical point of view. So then I was already energized, I had full of energy, everything was fine. My career as a lawyer was developing, I was getting promoted, everything looked just perfect. But then I realized I'm not happy. And I didn't know why, because technically speaking, there was nothing that I could complain about. I was living in Malta, sunny weather, friendly people, having amazing career, having amazing colleagues and working environment, and here I am. In the morning I just can't get out of my bed. And it came to this point that I was going in the lift to the office and I just felt changes in my body that no, I cannot do that. And every day I was having these struggles. And I was like, okay, I can't do like that anymore. I need to change something. So basically I felt like in a trap. Because there was no good decision. I shouldn't leave my work because I was successful.
Yeah.
And technically speaking, I should be very happy about it. There were so many people who would love to have my place. So I should be happy, and
exactly.
that was my first. Yeah. I should be happy, I have to be happy, but I wasn't.
On paper, everything's right.
On paper, and I think a lot of people struggles with that. So then I realized that actually I suffer from depression, and I shared that with a friend of mine. Actually, it was again Mayu, so she was quite important in my personal development, I would say. And she was shocked because she didn't even expect that I might have depression, because I was smiling, I was full of life. No one expected what I'm going through. So I think there is a lot of people like me back then who feels like in a trap, and there's a very high rate of suicide as well. And then when you speak with friends, with family, they didn't see that coming, because the person was happy and there was nothing that they should be worried about, happily married, having good job, but there was something inside them that maybe made them unhappy. I think it's important to seek help of the expert, because very often people are being ashamed. I'm not sure if you can confirm that, but I think it's especially in case of men, there is a higher rate of depression amongst men and suicide as well, because there is a lot of pressure on them. Very often they have to provide for the family. So even if they want to change something, change work or maybe path of the career, they need to think about their family first.
Yeah.
So that's another thing to take into consideration, and they might feel like they're in the trap even more than that.
I'd say it's so on point. I think and something that I think we've touched on, but we're not really honed in on yet, is that men's mental health is quite a weird one, because we don't effectively communicate, as men just don't. With other men you don't effectively communicate, and there are, because we still are in that world where it's predominantly the men, and not always, predominantly is the men that would go and carry on working whilst the mother would look after the child, which adds that level of pressure, really, that even if they're, so if something happens and they're thinking, okay, I could lose my job, they are freaking out. They're probably going to work thinking, okay, if I lose my job, it's going to impact everyone. Or there may be something like, okay, I'm in this job, I'm the head of a customer services thing, and I detest I hate it. I hate doing it, but I have no other option. I can't go and be a pottery. I can't open a pottery school, even though it's my passion, because this is bringing in too much money.
Mm-hmm.
And by doing that, then that's going to have an impact. So you end up then, as a man and a woman, women are in the same situation. You end up just going down this path of unhappiness, because you're like, well, I have no other choice. I just have to do this because of the responsibilities I have. So I think that's where, it's the world we're in at the moment, and hopefully there is change coming. That there is no, that maybe there will be an end to the 9-to-5 type job. Who knows? The gig economy is something that's evolving, that's allowing people to do this, have a side hustle, or do a side job. Maybe this will be a way to kind of release those shackles, and give people the opportunity, as we'll come on to, much like you, that's allowed you the freedom, the space to then pick and choose what you want to do, while still bringing enough income to be able to get by.
Yes, definitely, but I think that everyone also should work on communication skills, because if you don't communicate, how another person, your partner or your family can know that this is what you're striving with. And I was keeping that inside me as well, because first of all, I didn't realize at the beginning that yes, that might be depression. Then I didn't know why do I feel this way, because there was like everything that should make me happy. Good salary, good working environment, nice friends, nice apartment, everything. And my career was growing, so I should be happy.
Yeah.
And then I said, okay, it's time to change it. And I was so afraid, I was scared, because there was no good decision. Because if I quit my job, then what? Should I find another job? Okay, but I'm a lawyer, so most probably I will end up doing exactly the same thing, but for another company, for another law firm.
Mm-hmm.
So what should I do? And then I came up with the idea of going to India for a month, doing my yoga teacher training, because I used to love yoga always, and somehow again that's my good genetic. I was always flexible, so I could enjoy doing these crazy poses even more. I was practicing also acro yoga.
Oh, wow, okay.
Yes, that's a combination of yoga and acrobatics. So much fun.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, maybe I can just change my life completely, because healthy lifestyle is already my passion. So what's going to happen if I switch my passion with profession?
What was the trigger? What made you just one day go, okay, I'm going to do it. I'm going to go to India. There must have been something.
I think that I just came to the point that it's like, okay, I cannot live like that anymore. I don't want to wake up in the morning, and if someone would tell me that you don't want to wake up, you will not wake up, just say it, then I would go for it. It came to this point, and that scared me. That scared me, because not only about myself, but also my family, and how badly people that care about me and love me can be affected.
Yeah.
By my burnout, actually, because this is how it was as well.
Yeah.
I got very bad burnout.
Burnout. Yeah, it's very common.
It's very common, more than we think, actually. And that was my last chance to find happiness. And so I was looking for for school in
Mhm.
India. I wanted to go back to the roots and learn from the source,
Best way.
the best way.
How was your friends and family to this reaction?
Well, of
Were they
course,
supportive?
Of course, I didn't tell them straight away.
So that could be a key trigger
Sneaking off.
for a lot
See
of
you in a
people.
month.
I was preparing them.
Yeah.
So first I just told them that I feel like traveling for a month. Because I used to do that before as well. Because of course, depression or this inner unhappiness, it's not something that is happening overnight. So it was a process.
Mhm.
I would say over a year. So that wasn't anything new when I said that I need to travel for a month, because I've already did my solo travel to South America a year before.
Oh
Mhm.
wow. Okay.
And that's actually another point, very good point. It's very good to travel solo, but I will
I
talk
agree.
about it
Yeah,
later on.
yeah.
So no one was surprised, and everyone knew that I love being active, I love yoga. So everyone, including my colleagues, they were supporting me in my decision. But in my head, I already have my exit plan
Mhm.
from the law firm back then. So I went to India alone. I was a bit afraid because I didn't know how it's going to be, and if I'm going to enjoy.
How did you select where to go? Were you referred? How did you find where to go and do this?
Well, I was afraid of going to India because it's not. Let's say the conditions are not same as in Europe.
Yeah.
Right.
Especially
So
being a
there's no-
blonde woman alone.
Yes, that's another thing.
Mm.
So I wanted to make sure that I will be very safe,
Mhm.
and I decided to go to Goa.
Mhm.
There was number of reasons. Of course, I'm very much sea and sun person. That was the first condition. And then it's quite safe environment because it's very touristic area. So
Yeah.
even though yoga teacher training costs much more than in, for instance, Rishikesh, which is the most popular for yoga schools, I decided to go to Goa. And actually, I took my time to select good yoga school. I think it's very important because it affects your entire experience and skills that you gain during the course. And actually, I choose really good. Also sought confirmation of some yoga teacher from Rishikesh asking, okay, what can you tell me about the school? Is that school good? And he was like, yeah, that's one of the best in Goa, you should go for it.
Oh wow. Okay.
So I had also this comfort of being able to confirm that with someone, and
Nice.
if that school it's good or not. And it was perfect choice. I'm very grateful of meeting my teachers, Vishu, my philosophy and pranayama teacher, who changed my life and perception on life in general. Neha, who was asana teacher.
Mhm.
She really get me out of my comfort zone. And Dr. Grishma, because as a part of yoga teacher training, we have to also learn anatomy of
course.
human body.
Yeah.
And after some time, I realized that I'm not afraid anymore. Everything will be fine. Because when you see this poverty and happiness of people,
Mm.
you know that your problem is just you are creating them by yourself, and it's creation of your mind.
Yeah.
So then you start practicing non-attachment as well, because whatever we are surrounded with is temporary. It comes and goes. So you are just accepting that, and you are not afraid of losing things, because you know that if you lose something, you make space for something new to come into your life. But in order to let new things in, you need to get rid of the old things that are not serving you anymore.
Mhm.
And that was life-changing for me. My yoga teacher training, it was one of the best things that I've ever done in my life, because it changed me, my perception of life, and gave me happiness and courage to actually take a decision without fear and just move on. I didn't have, very detailed plan what I'm going to do.
Cool.
I just decided to quit because that was what my intuition and my heart was telling me to do. So when I came back to India after few weeks, I just handed over my resignation letter, and
Must have been
it was such a release.
really
I
okay.
still
Yeah.
remember that this
Yeah, I
release,
can
this
imagine.
inner happiness that I managed. I
Yeah.
managed to
It's,
take
it's
that
a weight off your
decision.
shoulders. You're like, wow, okay,
Yes.
this is the new me.
Yes, and everything actually turned out way better than I expected because I believe in that.
Mm-hmm.
And also meditation, pranayama, yoga helped me as well.
You mentioned one of your teachers took you out of your comfort zone a lot. Can you delve into that? What do you mean?
Well,
Why?
definitely.
Because obviously you were quite
Yes.
well versed in yoga before. So how
Well, definitely Neha, the asana teacher, took me
Neha.
out of my comfort zone doing splits and crazy stuff. And
Oh, okay.
I was sure I'm not able to do
Within the
that.
yoga exercises.
yeah.
So, but once you see that you can get out of your comfort zone with your body, then you know that you can also get out of your comfort zone with your mind. And then my
Nice.
philosophy and pranayama and meditation yoga teacher came in, Vishu, and I think that I changed perception of my life thanks to him, seeing things in a different way. How I live now, sometimes everything seems to be not going well, but everything is about not circumstances but your perception.
Yeah.
So every day try to find something good, something positive, something nice, because it's possible. Every single day it can be something very simple, like I don't know, having nice cup of coffee, or meeting some friend, or just seeing some beautiful flowers or smelling them. So even if you are struggling with your life, you have some decisions to take, then just try to switch your focus, your concentration from these bad things to the good things.
Mm-hmm.
And then everything is going to change because you are also changing your approach towards life. So it's also easier to make decisions, and you are more open to it as well. Because if you feel, if you see good positive things, you are more open-minded and you are more friendly and open to people as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Before you went to India, did you envision that you'd be a yoga teacher, or was it just kind of something that happened to you in India?
No, I thought that yes, I would like to be yoga teacher. Again, it didn't come overnight.
Yeah.
I was thinking about it because always I was enjoying yoga classes. I was struggling a lot to find yoga teacher that I would connect with in Malta. Even back in Poland, I had one really good yoga teacher in Malta, Dulce. However, then she stopped teaching, so I was struggling to connect with another yoga teacher. And actually, that's also something that I hear very often. Yoga, it's not for me. I'm not flexible enough of doing yoga. That's so wrong.
Makes
So-
you more flexible, if anything.
Well, that's one thing, but it's not what yoga is about. The greatest yogis, they didn't even do this crazy asanas.
Yeah, yeah.
So first of all, you need to ask yourself, what do I want to achieve doing yoga? Why do I want to do yoga? Because everyone is different. So maybe you have some problems with your back because of long working hours, sitting in seated position. So you want to work on that. But maybe someone else is struggling with finding peace or concentration or calmness. So he wants to do yoga because of that. There can be really a lot of different reasons. Maybe someone wants to get flexible, and that's fine as well. So that's the very first question that you need to answer you. And then, taking that into consideration, you need to find style of yoga that you would like to do. Because there's so many styles of yoga, and not every style can be good for you, because it doesn't resonate with what you want to achieve doing yoga. So that's the very second question. And the last thing, and I think that is one of the most important things out of these three, you need to find yoga teacher that you will connect with. Because all of us, we are different, we have different energy. I'm not saying it's wrong or bad, but it has to be someone that your energy is clicking with. So maybe there can be great yogi, perfect asana teacher, explaining everything very well, but you don't like the class for some reason, you don't feel comfortable, and you might think, okay, yoga it's not for me, but it's not because of yoga, but maybe because of the teacher. So never give up at the first time, try another yoga teacher, and maybe that's the way that you connect with another yoga teacher and you will fall in love with yoga.
And at the moment, because of the whole situation we're in, it's all having to pivot to being done online, which is good. Do you think that, obviously I'm just going back to your energy, you pick up on someone's energy when you're in the room with them or when you're doing a class. So do you, as an instructor, do you lose that when you're doing it online, or does it not have too much of an impact?
Well, of course it does, because the physical connection is way stronger than the one online.
Yeah.
But I think for me as a yoga teacher, it's more difficult to connect with every yoga student that I'm teaching online, unless it's one-to-one class.
Yeah.
But I think that the students can have quite similar experience, because I'm still here, I'm still expressing myself in the same way. Maybe I will not come closer to you to make alignment, but still I think you can feel my energy, because energy, it's not only something physical, but it's something that you generate by way how you talk, what you talk as well.
Yeah, I agree. Okay. And at the moment, not just in Malta, I've seen this across Europe, there are different types of training courses, like online, to become a yoga instructor. Is there a right and wrong? I've seen like 200 hours and 50 hours. I've seen online only. I've seen there's lots of information, and I'm not sure if I was wanting to get into becoming a yoga instructor, I wouldn't know what's right and what's not. So can you add some clarity on that?
Well, that's only my personal opinion, but I think online yoga teacher training shouldn't exist.
Yeah.
It's different to attend online yoga class, but if you actually want to get very detailed information to be able to teach other people, to make alignment, first you need to get perfect alignment yourself. So it's very, very, very difficult without having teacher in front of you.
Of course, yeah.
And then again, 50 hours, 200 hours. Then again, it depends what kind of yoga you want to teach, because there are different courses. So for instance, I think, let's say in yoga it's 50 hours, but then Ashtanga it's 200 hours. There are different levels of yoga as well.
I see, okay.
So there is first 200, then there is 300, so you can have 500 hours together to be more experienced.
Wow, okay.
So that's the difference, basically.
For someone that doesn't know, not myself necessarily, but anyone that doesn't know about the differences in yoga, can you explain the differences, like from yoga to Ashtanga? Not all of them, of course, but maybe just a couple of them.
Oh, there's so many of them actually. So there is hot yoga, Bikram yoga, and so there is room heated to a certain temperature. So you sweat a lot.
Yeah, I haven't tried that yet.
But it's not for everyone.
Yeah.
You need to take into consideration your health conditions, if you are having some problems with blood pressure and so on and so forth. Then I'm not fan of that style also, because it's very hot, so you can overstretch easily. Because then if it's warmer, then you're basically more flexible. Then there's vinyasa, so flow.
Okay.
It looks really nice and can look quite cool, but I wouldn't suggest to start with that style, because you need to already know some basics. Warrior 1, Warrior 2, downward facing dog. Without having this basic information, you might feel a bit lost, especially because yoga is connecting body, mind and breath. So first you need to learn how to do that, and then you are able to practice some flows. Before it's tricky. Yin yoga, I really love that type of yoga, but it's more relaxing, I would say, because you stay for a longer period of time in one pose. It's not, you don't force yourself to stretch a lot, you just use your body weight to stretch more. So it's really nice, especially in the evening before going to sleep. But for some people, can be a bit boring because it's not that much movement over there. So then again, as I mentioned before, it's important yoga style that you connect with the most.
Yeah. Do you have a particular style that you like?
I'm kind of guilty now when I speak about this stuff, but I do vinyasa online. I actually just connected with this instructor online, and I do his videos.
Okay.
Frequently enough, all the time actually.
Do you find the one thing with that, and this is why I ended up flipping into actually doing going to proper classes, and so Aleksandra's, I've had a session with her online as well, which is great. Is that then they can kind of correct you, because you don't actually. It's a bit like, I guess, playing the guitar, and then you can learn off YouTube playing guitar, but unless you go to actually guitar lessons, you don't know what you're doing right or wrong, or if it's
so right. Yeah, I think that's why it's probably really important to find the right instructor to really help you progress. Yeah, because it's something I just do regularly enough to bring me back into the moment. Stop thinking about things I have to do in work, stop thinking about things in the past, just cool off. It's something that I use, and that generally works. I just do 10 minutes almost daily.
I switch between, I quite like it when it's quite hard, so when you're holding poses for a long time, but then if I'm doing that all the time, then I'm always dreading going into it, because I'm like, oh my god, this is going to be so painful.
Yeah.
And like 20 minutes through, I'm going, oh fuck, I hate yoga, it's just killing me. But then at the end of it, I'm like, oh, this is actually, I'm so glad I did
You
it.
feel amazing.
Yeah. But then there's the other side, which we did one after I'd finished work, and that was a lot more. There were still poses that were difficult, and I probably wasn't doing correctly. But it was a lot more. I found that more relaxing and more cleansing, if anything, and it's more of a meditative state. That's what that got me into, which I also really enjoyed, because it still gave me some of the workout. But and I don't know, and I've said this to you 100 times now. It was like, maybe it's just the tone of your voice just made me feel so relaxed, and then I was like, wow, okay, now I can just. I don't even need to put any music on. I just sat quietly for a while without doing anything. I was like, I'm just going to just relax, and then gradually I was thinking, okay, I need to kind of get on with my evening with work. But then I was a lot calmer in my approach. Like, I'll do that, and then I'll do that, and then.
I'm really glad to hear that. That you felt this way after a session with me. I like combining different styles. I would say, in some poses. We could stay longer. There should be some flow as well, but especially when I have a class 1-to-1, then I can look at my student and see what I should do and when. Because if I feel that someone is almost falling asleep, then I know that okay, now it's time for some more difficult pose to wake you up.
Yeah.
So it's very important to connect with the student. Definitely, it's way easier when there's one-to-one session, and personally I love it because it's amazing to see development of a person. Also, I have certain, maybe not rules, but for the very first class I try to encourage people. I don't think that yoga teacher from the very beginning should say no, you should do this way or that way, because don't forget, yoga it's about connecting your mind, your body and your breath. So very often you can see that there are mirrors in the yoga classes. I'm not very keen on that, because you should feel your body. So yes, maybe it's nice to do the alignment in front of the mirror, but I wouldn't suggest to practice in front of the mirror all the time, because like that, how you can feel your body?
It's because you're using your eyes instead of.
Exactly.
So you're looking externally instead of internally.
Instead of feeling your body. So that's very important. And then also never compare yourself to someone else, someone who is practicing next to you or to your yoga teacher. We yoga teachers, we went through yoga teacher training, and then we practice yoga very, very often, most probably already for some time. So of course we can go deeper into the poses. And then don't forget that also our body is different. So I might have natural way of flexibility. maybe you are not as flexible, and that's fine, but listen to your body and just feel when there is resistance. Then you shouldn't push harder only to get into the pose as your yoga teacher. Listen to your body, and then it's perfectly fine. That's why also we have different variations of poses. If someone is more flexible, can go deeper to the pose, and there are easier variations for some less flexible people.
I know if I did yoga now with Jamie, I'd push myself a little bit more. I wouldn't be so lazy. When I'm at home, while I watch videos, sometimes I have to admit to myself I'm lazy. But at least I'm doing it. The trick for me is just to do it. Another trick I came up with recently, and I almost, to be honest, felt stoned after it, was doing 5 minutes of mindfulness and then 10 minutes of yoga. And just the release of everything.
By mindfulness, what do you mean by that? So what do you,
so
what do you do exactly?
I'll follow specific YouTube videos. I can't exactly remember from whom, but you can just find a good 5-minute video that will resonate with you. And then I do a 10-minute, let's say, yoga instruction that I've enjoyed in the past. And I'll get that same feeling you mentioned earlier of just being still, not really thinking about much, not really much going on, but very content, very happy. And then once I go back into work, I'm not looking at 1,000 tabs or 1,000 videos of anything on my laptop. It's just really sticking to one thing and just kind of getting on with it.
Yeah, definitely yoga helps to concentrate, because you need to focus on yoga pose to hold the pose. So like that you shift your concentration. I think that's also a very good point of meditation. So when I say meditation, a lot of people imagine great yogi sitting
Hovering.
in one pose for hours.
Humming.
Well, actually, yes, that's also what meditation is about. But I have also a bit different point of view on that. So meditation is everything that helps you to stop overthinking. You are just here and you feel things, but you are not getting attached to your thoughts. So meditation can have different forms as well. For someone it will be sitting actually still and repeating mantra, om, or whatever. There is a lot of mantra that actually helps you to focus.
Is that because of the frequency, the sound? Is that why?
Yes. And then also there are meanings of mantra as well. It's very interesting as well. But I found it also very meditative to go for a walk. I just walk, I hike, and I'm just enjoying the moment. I'm there. I can feel the sun on my face, the wind in my hair, and the ease of breathing. And I just enjoy the moment. I don't have any thoughts. If you ask me what are you thinking about, then I was like, well, nothing. Because I'm here, there, and I just focus on what I feel. So that's my type of meditation as well. For some people, jogging can be meditation. So you don't have to be still to kind of be in that state of meditation. So that's something that you need to find for yourself as well. Because in general, human beings, we are overthinking. Our mind is running. And then we have also a lot of noises around us, especially living in the city, living busy life. So we are just bombarded with this all things. So that's why it's so difficult to switch off our mind.
I agree. Couldn't agree more.
And there is so this is something that obviously you've helped me with as well, which is this 21-day meditation challenge.
Well, I don't like using the word challenge.
Oh, sorry.
Actually.
Okay.
Because meditation and yoga should never be about challenge.
Okay.
It's something that should feel good. And when there is a challenge, there is some competition maybe.
I see. Okay.
So I don't like the word.
Okay.
Challenge.
So it's just 21 days meditation
program.
Program. Okay. So can you enlighten us? Can you kind of reveal how that starts and the process itself?
Yes, of course. So first of all, I was invited also to this program by my friend, also yoga teacher who I met back in India. We're doing yoga teacher training together, and actually she was my Ashtanga partner, so we were leading the class as part of our exam together. So So I got invited to this program, and then I decided, okay, it's quite nice, so I would like to share that with other people as well. Because our life is also a bit about habits, and it takes time to get new habits. Usually it's 21 days.
21.
It's 21 days. So you can change your patterns of thinking within 21 days. And this is what this meditation is about. It's basically to attract abundance into your life.
Mhm.
So every day you receive a message with a small task, with some audio, explanation by the guru, and also guidance on meditation, and a phrase of the day that you should keep on repeating yourself during the daytime. So like that you are changing your perception on things and learn how to attract abundance into
Mhm.
your life. And then I think a lot of people read or watched The Secret. No, it's quite popular. But I would like to stress about something. So attracting things into your life, it's not that you just sit down, you think, okay, tomorrow I would like to get 1 million of euro, and that's it. And all of a sudden you will get 1 million of euro.
It's coming to me.
It's coming to me.
Any day now.
No, it's not working like that, unfortunately. Otherwise everyone would be billionaire, I think, by now. But like that you attract situations, people and possibilities to get that 1 million of euro. And once that comes into your life, you just have to grab it or take an action, take a decision, and listen to your intuition.
Mhm.
But everything is about the law of attraction,
Mhm.
and non-attachment as well. Because I don't know if you experience that sometimes, but if you want something so badly, you cannot focus on anything else. You just want that thing, and you are struggling, you are fighting, and it's just not happening.
Mhm.
And sometimes things comes easily into your life.
Yep, for sure.
So also that's what this meditation is about, and how to achieve that. So it's quite funny because it happened to me quite a few times in my life, even with my career as a lawyer. That's a funny fact about me, I would say. So I was studying back in Szczecin in Poland, and back then I was telling I will never be a lawyer in my home city. I will be a lawyer in Warsaw, so the capital
Mhm.
of Poland, or somewhere abroad. But back then it was just not possible.
Mm.
That was just crazy idea of student.
It was just a seed that you planted somewhere.
Exactly. I
Yeah.
just said that, and I didn't got attached too
Mm.
much to that idea. And then I was like, okay, I think that actually I will be corporate and tax lawyer. That would be great. It would bring me money, and yeah, that's something that I think I should do.
Mhm.
But again, I didn't get attached to that idea, and I was doing different things in my life. Then I came to Malta, and there was no possibility for me to actually become a lawyer here, because first of all, I didn't have a warrant. I didn't speak Maltese. My English was very, very bad. So it was almost impossible. So I didn't even think of it. But after some time, again, I attracted the right people, and I took the right decisions, and I became tax and corporate lawyer in Malta. So that's also what is this law of attraction and bringing abundance into your life is
Mhm.
about. And during this program, you will learn the techniques, and that's also a process of changing your way of thinking.
Mm.
And how to attract these things, whatever you want into your life.
It's almost putting it out into the universe, like some people have like mood boards or vision boards where they think, okay, these are the
Mhm.
things that I want to achieve. I'm only a couple of days through this program, so I've only kind of scratched the surface. I'm just still doing the abundance, obviously writing the list of people
Mhm.
that have had an impact on my life for a positive impact. But is this kind of law of attraction thing, is this something that you'll find, you're saying about techniques you'll find, but is it similar to the mood boards, or is it something totally different?
Well, definitely visualization is very important part of it, because how you can get something if you don't know exactly what you want. So first you need to decide, okay, that's what I want, and then you can attract that into your life. But everything it's about subconsciousness. So basically, once you plant the idea of it, you don't have to actively think about it, but it will be somewhere in the back of your head. So once you get some opportunity, or right people, right situations, then you will get the signal that, okay, I should go for it.
I need to start practicing this myself. Okay.
And how is going the program? How do you find it?
Yeah,
How do you
so
enjoy the
I
process?
actually, this is a good point, because I've got some questions around it. And one of the things I'm struggling, also, just to give you a very 30-second background. So whilst I'm freelancing for a company at the moment in the UK. So I'm working remotely, which is my day job, let's say. And then my passion, my actual job is this company Few that we're building and we're launching very, very soon. So that basically means I have two jobs. And I'm working like from 9 in the morning until 11 o'clock at night at the moment. Which is okay. It's not sustainable. It's not something you can do forever, but it's okay at the moment because it's needed. You need to put the hard effort in sometimes. Now, whilst I started the program, and I so far really enjoyed it, and I found it really beneficial. I found it really cleansing. Just starting with the list, writing a list of more than 50 in the end. I struggled initially. I got to maybe about 20, and then I was like, this is difficult. And then I just put the book down, and because I did it outside, I did it away from my phone. I did it in the shade, and I just started looking around, just looking at people. I was just looking at the trees, just stop forcing it, and then gradually, like, names just started kind of just coming out, just dripping through me. I was like, wow, okay.
Exactly. So you got it. It's exactly what I mentioned. It's things should flow through you without forcing it. So it means that actually the task achieved what it should.
Yeah, it was amazing. And then I shared with a couple of people the fact they were on my list, and I was thanking them, basically saying, you've had a positive impact on my life because of X. And I found it really rewarding.
Then that brings also the feeling of gratitude into your life as well.
Yeah, exactly. Because
so
they responded, and
energy.
it's like, and I found it and I've mentioned this to Stephen before, that I feel like even if everyone did this, and even just with a list of 10 people, and then actually thought about how they've helped you, and then go through that process, but then let them know, then it creates a ripple, like of appreciation and gratitude for and understanding, really. So I think it could be so powerful.
Yes, but even sometimes think about it. How often do we say something nice to other people, even to the stranger? I mean, I realize that sometimes this is how I am, basically. So if I see another woman, let's say, having nice smile, I would say like, oh, you have such a lovely smile. And sometimes you can see that people don't know how to react.
Yeah.
Some people are just like, okay, she wants something from me.
Yeah. What are you selling?
Or maybe, oh, is that girl is hitting on me?
Yeah.
You can just read that from their face expression. But sometimes they just smile back and they say something nice about you, or just say thank you. But you can clearly see that maybe you changed this person's day. So it's very important to water each other, like plants, So like
that's nice. I like that analogy.
Yeah. So like that, we can all grow together by being kind and nice to each other. Let's just say more nice things about other and focus on that, because you can find something beautiful and something nice and something positive in every single person. And actually, that's your task for a day. Try to look around, and when you look at the person, try to find something nice or positive or good about that person. It can be even a stranger.
Yeah, I'm typically quite good at things like that. I think I've been lucky enough so my mum has had a big influence on my life, and she was a Reiki master and very kind of spiritual and positive, and she's kind of from a young age kind of made me look at things more positively rather than kind of try and break things down. So I'm lucky enough to do that, and now I'm feeling even more secure, where before I'm thinking, oh, if I say oh, you have lovely hair or something, if I just said that to you, then before my mind would be going, oh, but maybe your girlfriend went like that, or maybe this lady would think you're coming on to her, or maybe she's going to think you're a creep. Where now maybe because I'm older and a bit more relaxed, and ultimately I'm not trying to hit on women or men, and I feel maybe that comes across more. So then if I'm saying something to someone, it's more genuine, and it's like, and then I bet it goes back to what you said. You can then see, because you're highlighting it, and then you're highlighting it and showing it to them. Then they're like, oh, someone's noticed that maybe I've put some nail polish on, or I'm wearing a new outfit. You know, all these small things I think really beneficial. So.
But it's also important the way how we are communicating things. It's like, oh wow, you have such a lovely breast. Then of course, what a woman can think about it.
I haven't tried that.
But if you say, like, oh, you have such a nice dress.
I was going to say that
okay,
I really like.
Ever go start with breasts? Or else, you know, anything else I think is okay.
So it's about also, you know, what you see in that person and the way how you communicate as well.
Yeah.
The communication is the key.
Yeah. It's good that you added in that disclaimer.
I'm a lawyer here.
It's good. So you've continued on your journey, and Mayu obviously is someone you mentioned a few times, and obviously she was. Sadly, she shouldn't be here today. She is alive.
She's alive, but far away.
Yeah, far away. Back in Finland. Back in Finland. And we will obviously pick up. We'll go into this in a bit more detail. We'll touch on it now about CBD, if that's okay. But also, you and her set up this business called Wellbeing.
Yes, well-being before anything else.
Nice, it's lovely. And I think when she's back. We'll do a big one just on and talking about everything about that and the business and what you guys are doing. But CBD is obviously something you've also got quite a bit of knowledge in as well. So it'd be good to just very kind of high level, really, just talk about some of the how you got into it, really, and the kind of takeaway benefits of at least looking into CBD.
First of all, I would like to highlight that there is a lot of misunderstanding about CBD. People will think, oh, CBD is a drug, I don't want to take it, I don't want to get high. But it has nothing to do with that. So that's why me and Mayo decided to promote, but even more educate people about it. So once they have knowledge, then they can take a decision if they would like to try it or not. Of course, it's quite new still, so there's a lot of people who still prefer to wait how it's going to develop. And at the time being, it's not regulated as such. So there is a lot of CBD products that can be even harmful for your health. So that's why also we keep on organizing some presentations. I hope to organize also some online presentation to explain people what they should check before buying these products, so they wouldn't be harmful, because the labeling is so different. You can and actually there was also tests of the products in the UK, and there was so many products, CBD products, labeled as such, that didn't have any CBD in it. So we will just be drinking coconut. But basically CBD is very beneficial for boosting your own immune system. So in general, the natural state of our body is being healthy, and that's what the body, because the body can heal itself very well. So you can catch a cold or something, and you don't need any specific medicines. You can get well by yourself. But CBD helps in that process. So your own body will be able to heal faster by itself. I will not get into the details now because that's really
That's for next time.
very deep topic as well. But CBD is different than THC, and that's the main difference between products as well. Because THC is the psychoactive substance. So if you see some people going around and smoking something that smells funny, then most probably it's with THC because they just want to get high. But CBD it's not psychoactive, so you can just take it and enjoy the benefits of it, of cannabis without getting high. Then also the extraction of CBD, because there are different plants. There is marijuana and there's cannabis, so they are a bit different as well. It's quite simple, but it's important to get proper knowledge about it. Because of course THC in many countries it's not allowed, it's prohibited as psychoactive.
Even here, right?
Even here and especially in Scandinavian countries. So there is different allowance of THC in the product, because some CBD products they have THC as well. Of course they might tackle a bit different health conditions, because in certain countries you can get products with THC by the prescription from the doctor as well to treat certain conditions. But CBD it's, I would say, more like a supplement, like you are taking your vitamins. That's how it works.
And you take that orally, topically, both?
Well, there is actually, it depends what you would like to achieve, because you have different receptors in your body located in different body parts. So it depends what you want to achieve as well, because there are receptors in your stomach, but also in your brain. I think the most beneficial is to drink it. So it's a CBD oil. Basically, you just take it and you keep it under your tongue to absorb, because we have receptors over there. Yes, and then after like 30 seconds, 1 minute, you swallow the rest to your stomach. It's amazing.
Does it taste? What does it taste like?
Well, again, it depends on the product as well, and I would highly recommend to take as clean product as possible, so without any added flavoring.
Okay.
It tastes, for me personally, it tastes a bit like a ash. Ash from the cigarettes.
Really?
I'm very particular about it.
Okay. Interesting.
But again, I'm pretty sure you taste it as well, and you had a bit
Yeah,
different opinion.
I
about
didn't
it.
mind it.
Again,
It's kind of nice, yeah.
some
Well, not
people
nice,
they
but
like the taste,
yeah.
some people no, but it's manageable, I would say.
Yeah. And so you take it regularly?
Yes.
Okay.
However, since I'm quite tiny and I take it already for some time, then the amount that I'm taking is quite small.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Because there's a lot of people who has deficiency in CBD. So at the beginning, maybe the amount that you are taking should be a bit higher to get the full benefits of it. For instance, because usually you need to take it for some time to see the full effects of it. So if there is something not really well in your body, then you can see that it actually got worse at the beginning. It's the same, let's say, like you are sick, right? And you are getting a fever, because your body it's fighting against the bacteria or virus.
Fever, okay, yeah.
So that's why you're getting fever. So that's the symptom. So you feel worse, but actually your body it's healing. And the same is with CBD. So at the beginning you might feel that okay, maybe there's something wrong, maybe CBD is not for me because my body reacts this way. But it means that maybe the healing process has started already. And then again, each of us is different and can see different benefits of it. For instance, now with my meditation, with my CBD, I would say I'm quite a calm person. But in the past, especially as being a lawyer, I was overthinking as a lawyer and as a woman as well, because our brain works a bit differently and we have tendency of overanalyzing and
Yeah.
overthinking. So I was overthinking a lot, and especially when I was already in my bed. Then all of a sudden I was bringing everything from the day. I should say this or that, or I forgot to do something, or oh my god, I have so many tasks and so many things to catch up with, and I couldn't fall asleep. Then I was also tired the next day because I didn't have proper sleep. So I think that was the very first benefit that I saw after started taking CBD. I slept way better. I didn't have this overthinking before falling asleep. And actually I didn't need that many hours of sleep because my
Really?
sleep was much better. It improved. I could fall asleep deeper.
I see.
And that's why I didn't need that many hours. Then my skin improved as well.
Okay.
Because at least the company that we are representing has also beauty line, so cosmetics.
I'm using them as well.
I can see
As you can see
you're
my glowing skin.
So yes, taking ingesting the CBD plus cosmetics, my skin improved a lot because I have very dry skin. And then I was a bit getting anxious easily, and that also helped me. CBD helped me to be calm and more focused.
Yeah.
I would say.
Yeah, nice. Wow. So where are you in your journey now? So where are you now, and what's next for you?
Well, I'm a lawyer still, but as a freelancer, so I accept projects that I know I would be enjoying, and that's amazing. This feeling of freedom and choice that makes you feel that you are not trapped anymore.
Yeah.
I still organize yoga classes for time being online because of this whole situation that we are in, and I really enjoy that. Even don't do that for money, but for satisfaction that I'm helping people, because it's amazing when I get messages from my students saying that they enjoyed it so much, or that they don't have that much back pain anymore. And that's the best gratification, I would say. I still promote CBD as well and educate about it, especially with Mayu. And I would say that's my main activities nowadays, and I hope to keep on doing that. And I really enjoy encouraging people to start healthy lifestyle, eating healthy. I'm pretty sure from time to time you check my stories, so I cook quite a lot healthy food, and I always enjoy sharing my recipes with other people, because sometimes it's also about lack of idea. Okay, I want to eat healthy, but how? So I'm always happy to have everyone who would need that. And definitely I would love to organize another 21 days meditation program. So if someone,
Program, not challenge.
Program, yes. So if someone would like to join, then of course I'm very happy to organize another one. And I encourage everyone, trying healthy lifestyle. Give yourself a chance for better life, because you will never get back to the old habits.
And what's the first step? So to say if someone is interested in getting into yoga or even meditation, what's the first thing they can do to get themselves ready?
Well, definitely answering these 3 questions that I mentioned before. Why do I want to start yoga? And then choose the style, and then connect with the teacher.
The teacher that's right
And
for
don't
them.
give up. If you didn't enjoy the first class, try to go to another yoga school or another style. But definitely yoga is for everyone. And just be active in general. That's, I think, the most important. Find something that you enjoy doing and just go for it. And I think that less time you have, more important is that you will find time for yourself, because this even 20 minutes, 30 minutes, 1 hour, perfect. Being active will affect your entire day and your energy level, so you will be more productive. So maybe if you don't feel like yoga, it's something that you would like to start with, go to the gym or, be active. That's
the
the
message.
main and the most important way of starting, I would say.
And if people want to reach out to you, any further questions, or just want to, especially with regards to the 21-day program, meditation program, how can they do so? Is there Instagram? Is there an email address? Or
Yes, of course, they can contact me directly on my Instagram. I'm on Instagram, Wandering Lawyer. Because that's another passion of mine, traveling.
Of course.
Now it's a bit not possible, but I still love doing that, or at least imagining when I'm going next. Or through our website, wellbay.com.
Wellbay.com. Wellbay, so WELL.
It's like well-being before anything else.
Yes. Okay. Nice. That's
the short name, Wellbay.
Yeah.
That's how we came up with the idea for the name, actually.
And obviously now you've been on one of our shows. Would you be up for coming back again with Mayu to talk about the big world of CBD and hemp and everything else next time?
Yes, of course. I would be more than happy of coming again if you feel like inviting
Of
me.
course, of course. Again, it's like I just feel really calm again.
Perfect.
I'm going to go and have a nap.
And I hope that everyone who was listening to us also feels a bit calmer and more in peace, and encouraged to try healthy lifestyle.
So we have all the elements here to do so.
Exactly. And
even if you
I
don't.
didn't mention anything, everyone can contact me directly, and I will be more than happy to share my recipes, my ideas, steps to take, and especially if there are some chocoholics over there, let me know. I can help you to go through it. I've been there.
Amazing. Aleksandra, you've been as incredible as I thought you would be, so thank you for coming in and spending the time with us today.
Thank you so much for having me today.
All right, thank you.
Namaste.
Namaste.
So that was blah, blah, blah. I'm going to cut this. I'm going to edit this bit. So that was another amazing episode. So thanks everyone for listening in. Just a quick reminder, really, we do have a Instagram page, finally live, called Dosed_podcast. Please come and share the stories, share the word, share the message that we're trying to get out there, and also just give us feedback. We want to make sure the sound's good, the quality's good, the content's good. We're all good. So come and give us the feedback and ultimately share all these doses of information. Okay, see ya.